What's good, family? It's your boy Zay-P, Zay-P the I am. I am that I am, as you are that you are, for we are all that we are. First thing that I wanted to really get on was the entire racial disparity that's happening within the country right now. It's horrible to see. It's really sickening. It's really sickening to see how desensitized we're becoming. How desensitized we're becoming because we can see people, black people, or any people being killed ruthlessly and heartlessly, and the injustice that comes with all of that, the simple fact of the disproportionate nature between people of color versus whites or non-colored folks, and the divisive nature of it all, because at the end of the day, you know, there is the aspect of we are all one, and this is one thing that I teach and that I preach and that I wholeheartedly believe in and I wholeheartedly know to be true. At the same time, there's that very 3D dualistic nature that's trying to pit one side against another, one faction against another, blacks versus white, poors versus rich, the haves versus have-nots, authority versus the people. You know, all of these things are coming into play, and all of these things are just continued aspects of the overall psyops. Like, I don't know if anybody's noticed or even pieced together on their own, just watching the world around them. It's been one crisis, one thing after the next, from one foot to the next, right? Like, and as soon as one thing comes along, it's being used and manipulated as a way to distract us from what previously was, right? The idea that something like 5G was on the rise and on the loom, and that was the big talk because there's serious adverse health effects from that, right? And then we transition over to potentials of World War III, where we're getting into verbal spats with foreign dignitaries and leaders and things of that nature, and killing, you know, people who are highly influential regions and volatile parts of the globe, right? So all this is the next world war coming, right? And then we shift right out of that, and it's like, oh, there's the coronavirus and the health scares, and then lockdown, and, you know, financial crisis looming, and this and that, and now we get over to the racism, back to like divide the people. They're fucking with us. They're fucking with us. And now when I say they, I'm not going to get too specific or anything like that. This is not about a particular group, but this is about our culture's way of programming, way of doing things to kind of herd the masses, herd the sheep mentality, right? So if you get everybody panicked and going this way, and then you get them panicked and going the other way, you kind of create chaos. But you're creating chaos within a controlled environment. You're creating chaos within a controlled environment, and that in turn, it becomes a social experiment of sorts. If you think that those who are not influencing and manipulating the right wing are not the same influencers and manipulators behind the left wing, you'd be mistaken. If you don't see how behind the scenes, the powers that be, those that wish to keep the masses under control by having the masses either turn against each other or come together to collaborate against something that is ultimately a distraction from other things that may have bigger global implications. What happened with Mr. Floyd is a horrible thing. As a black man, it's something that I deal with on a regular basis. It's something I worry about with my own child. It's something that I know others in my community. It's something I think about with my family members, my nephews, my brothers, all of these things, right? As a people, beyond just that gender aspect, but just as a people, it's a reality that needs to be thought about and considered. And it's a horrible, horrible reality that we have to face. And there's so many underlying issues that need to be addressed before we can even have this real conversation of how do we heal or resolve issues of racism, right? There's all sorts of things that need to be addressed that we have the ridiculous back and forths over. Ultimately, putting that aside, when you think about it, the entire field, that entire issue has always been kind of manipulated in a way to gain influence over the public, through the use of public opinion, through the use of public perception, right? You get a certain group vocal in one area and you incite the extremists in the other area, then you have, again, controlled chaos. In which case, those who are in that chaotic frenzy are so distracted they don't realize the other dangers that's happening around. So with that, you can see how this entire issue with George Floyd, it's horrible and it's heartbreaking and it's sickening to see. But beyond that is a level of it being used and manipulated by the media to incite further divisiveness. This video is not to say, yo, what you doing is wrong, y'all shouldn't be rioting, whatever. Or this video is not to say, yo, we gotta militarize and we gotta. I've always been an advocate of the self. Once you become balanced and aligned with the self, you can become imbalanced and aligned with what your value systems are, with what truly resonates for you. If you are a militant-minded person and you know it is time to bear arms and to rise up and to create some action, put out some energy that is going to shift change in a more forcible nature, then that's what you need to do. If you are a tree hugger and you feel that your way of contribution to any particular issue, to this particular issue, is through love, is through connecting with others, is through creating more communities, is through sharing your understandings with the different peoples to try to create unity, well, then that is what you need to do. This is not about me telling you what you need to do, but this is about me lifting the veil so that you see that there's manipulations and machinations going on to distract you. And while you're jumping from one foot to the left, and while you're looking left and you're looking right, you're enraged about this, you're enraged about that, you're running around under controlled chaos and you're not actually effectively doing shit. Don't mind the language. This is just real talk, though. These riots that's happening out there right now, at the end of the day, what are you trying to accomplish? Let all these motherfuckers get together and come and actually sit in on the state senate offices. Shut down the official offices for a couple of days. Then you may actually see some action, right? So how are we using our energy? Is it focused? Is it precise? Are you actually taking actions that will create some sort of change and have some sort of positive effects? Are you all just as individual pebbles in the pond, splashing around here and there and working against each other in the grander scheme, right? So if you are a believer in unity and maybe somebody who is, the way is through love and the way is through this or that, how are you doing that, right? Are you just walking around kind of bypassing and acting like these things are not happening in the world? Are you acting like, if I can just turn a blind eye and focus on only the good, then all of these bad things will be healed or will be fixed? How are you using your energy or coming together to create more momentum in a way that can heal with regards to what you want to contribute? If you're all about love, are you out here forming collaborations? Are you out here connecting the community? Are you out here sharing messages for the different peoples, the different folks, to bring people together? Or are you just out here just kind of judging and hiding and skipping and frolicking without actually recognizing those around you who are tripping and falling on their face? So this video right here is just to talk about the mindful use of our energies. This time there are things happening that's kicking up dust and cause to trigger us and cause to incite us and cause to manipulate your energy output. When you do that, your energy is up for grabs, your attention's up for grabs, your emotional energy is up for grabs, your focus is up for grabs, and it is all being used to experiment with the masses and build that which may not serve the entire collective. While we're looking over here and we're thinking about this, we're forgetting about that. Don't forget about that, right? Don't get caught up in the idea that, oh, this coronavirus came so we can forget about the fact that they still putting 5G towers outside your house. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in the fact that, oh, this violent incident has happened with George Floyd, and then you get lost to the fact that at the same time, all of your rights are being taken away for various reasons, right? Like you're being censored, right? You're being repressed. You're being all sorts like controlled through a lot of these fear-based tactics, right? There's a lockdown. Will we militarize? Will it become like military zone, right? You see the police getting more violent. Well, let's play with that. Let's put that imagery out there and see how the people take it, right? This incidents happened way back in, February or whenever it was. And it's just coming out now to incite people at this particular time. Can you ask yourself why? What exactly is happening, right? We've lost the energy from the collective as far as the coronavirus and as far as all of this. People are starting to get away from the fear, right? So now what we got to do to kick up some more dust, to keep the energy heavy. Because as you stay heavy, as you stay down here in this dirt, as you stay down here in the fear, oh my God, I'm going to die from corona. Oh my God, I'm a black man. I got to fight. The cops are coming to kill me. Oh my God, they're trying to take our guns. Oh my God, the Chinese are coming. They're sneezing. Oh no. Right? So while you're doing all of that bullshit, all of your actual effective energy is going to waste. You're not able to create. You're not able to do anything positive. And you're not able to rise up and lift up out of that. You're staying in fear base. I'm scared of this. I'm mad about that. I'm pissed off about this. I'm ashamed of that. We can't spiritually bypass. I'm not telling you to ignore what's happening. I'm not saying get so worked up that you just ineffectively running around like a chicken with its head cut off. There is a middle way to all things. You got to fill out your own middle way. But you got to keep your eyes open and actually see how you yourself are using your energy. Because how you yourself use your energy is going to affect those around you. And if you're smart and you're using your energy effectively, you're going to create momentum. You're going to create momentum with those around you who can galvanize and who can receive strength from you and then empower you. You can create movements at this time. This is what's happening with the global collective. Those that be, the powers that be, they understand this. They understand that with the manipulation of your energies, they're able to create the movements that they want to see created for the new way of being, right? The movement of ushering us further into a technological world, right? A world where we're relinquishing more of our individual sovereignty. They want us to, and they'll do that by manipulating ideas. Be mindful of how you're using your energy. If you're actually effectively using your energy, the ways you're using your energy. Are you being manipulated? Or are you smart enough? Are you clever enough to step outside the herd mentality, to see the energy for what it is, and to use it to your advantage by tapping in and connecting to the energy that is coming, the energy that is. And then as you do that, you're forward thinking, you're future thinking, you're future proofing. So be mindful, y'all. How are you investing your energy?